what we think. Hello friends, and welcome to another class by Daily English Classroom. In today's class we are going to learn a play, or what we call a drama, and the name of the play is Listen to the Mountain, written by Kavery Nambisan. Kavery Nambisan is a famous Indian novelist who was born in the South Kodak in Karnataka, and she studied medicine in St. John's Medical College, Bangalore, and she has written important works like Nambisan's Diary, Dr. Sad, and The Power Lunch, etc. Since this is a play, we have to learn about the main characters and also the important scenes in the play. Okay, let's start with the characters. We have 8 characters in this drama. First one is a great grandmother, a very old grandmother, great grandmother, and we have a character called Narayan, who is the school headmaster and also the grandson of this grandmother. Then we have Ramana, who is a tea shop owner. We have 3 village men called Shastri, Kannan, and Rudrapa. Then we have a character called Sagar, who is a building contractor, and then last we have a character called Mr. Dikshit, who is a multi-millionaire industrialist. Okay, so remember these 8 characters. Once again, we have a great grandmother, then his grandson Narayan, then we have Ramana, who is a tea shop owner, and Shastri, Kannan, and Rudrapa, the 3 villagers, then Sagar, who is a building contractor, and Mr. Dikshit, the multi-millionaire. And we should also know about the different scenes in the play. We have 5 scenes in this play, and the first scene and the fourth scene are enacted in front of the curtain. Scenes 2, 3, and 5 are acted inside the stage. So let's start with the first scene, the introduction of characters. Grandmother, Narayan, who is a school headmaster, and Ramana, tea shop owner, Shastri, Kannan, and Rudrapa, the village man, Sagar, building contractor, and Dikshit, a millionaire industrialist. And about the setting of the play is set in a village called Dharmagiri, and we can see the background used on the stage are a mountain and trees, a river, depicting a natural countryside view. So on the stage we have all the settings for a typical Indian village with all the beautiful sceneries and the mountains, river, etc. And when the play begins, in the first scene, which is acted in front of the curtain, we have the character, the great grandmother, and she appears from the right side of the stage, and she hobbles to the center in front of the curtain and speaks to the audience in a slow and deliberate voice. First character that we see in this play is the great grandmother, and she comes from the right side of the stage and hobbles. Hobbles means to walk with some difficulties because she is very old, and she walks up to the center of the stage and starts talking to the audience. So the opening scene is quite different from the usual plays. We can see one character talking to the audience who came there for viewing the play. And she starts talking something like an introduction to the play, and she says, let's read. Grandmother, I am a great grandmother. I was born at the turn of the century when there were no motor cars, no aeroplanes, no television, no movies, and much less noise. Then pauses for some time. She stops talking for some time. There is a pause. I was born here, grew up, married, and had my children, grandchildren, and great grandchildren. I have lived here all my life, here in this village on the slopes of Dharmagiri. The river, trees, flowers, birds, and animals are all my friends. I have had a tough life, but a happy one. Again pauses. Now I am almost 90. My grandson, Narayan, is the school headmaster. He came to me with the most shocking news. Pauses. Shall I tell you about it? Wait, I think you better see what actually happened. She hobbles off the stage. So this is interesting. In the beginning, we can see this character called grandmother comes and talks to the audience, and she is talking about her past, and she says that she was born in this village which is noted for its natural beauty with fresh air and everything. And at that time when she was born, there were no modern developments like televisions or motor cars or anything. The air was very pure. But with the advancement of technology and science, actually she feels that she has lost her touch with the nature. The nature becomes polluted by these modern trends and developments, and she feels very sad about it. And she says that she was born in this village, and she was married, and her children, and they have their children, and they have their children. That means she had her children, grandchildren, and great grandchildren. That means 3 generations, and she had seen the 3 generations, and now she feels that the place is actually losing its real beauty. She was born at a time when there were no motor cars, aeroplanes, or anything. But she says that those days were good for her, and she was more happy in those days. And now she feels that she is not very happy with the present condition. And to add to the misery, now she hears a sad news from her grandson, Mr. Narayan, who is the school headmaster. It's like a conversation between the grandmother and the audience. And she says that, I want to tell you about something very serious, a sad news. I want to share with you a sad news. But I think it's better, rather than telling what it is better for you to watch. It's like an invitation to watch the play by the grandmother to the audience. And then she says, it's better to watch than listen to me. And then she again goes back. She hobbles off the stage. Here is a suspense. What is the sad news his grandson tells her? And then comes the next character, that is the grandson of this grandmother, Mr. Narayan, who is also the school headmaster. And Narayan enters from one side of the stage, Saga from the other. Now we can see 2 characters. One is Mr. Narayan, the grandson of this grandmother, and Mr. Saga. Narayan is the school headmaster, and Mr. Saga is a contractor, a building contractor who came to this village called Dharmagiri for some reason. Let's see what it is. Enter Narayan from one side of the stage and Sagar from the other. They meet center stage and greet each other. So, since this is a play, you have to be careful with the stage directions, which character comes and from which side. All these things are specified in the stage direction of the play. So, Sagar comes from one side, Mr. Narayan comes from the other side, and the two of them meet in the center and they start a conversation. They greet each other. And Narayan, welcome to our village. I am the school headmaster. Sagar from Bangalore. Pleased to meet you. Narayan, will you join me for a cup of tea, Mr. Sagar? Ramana's tea shop is just across the road. Please come. Sagar, thank you. They leave together. So, Mr. Narayan invites Sagar for a cup of tea from Ramana's tea shop. This is the first scene that we see in this play. So let's recollect what actually happens in the first scene of the play. The first scene of the play begins with an introduction by the grandmother, who hobbles onto the center of the stage and starts talking to the audience. She remembers the past history of Dharmagiri and she tells us that she was born in this village and she had seen 3 generations. Now she is very old, about 90 years of age, and she recollects those good times she spent in this village before the coming of the motor vehicles and aeroplane, television and other types of modern gadgets. And this place was a holy place, a beautiful place, but now she is afraid that the place is actually losing the beauty. It is being polluted by the modern developments. And she recollects that it was such a great time for her. She led a tough life, but she was very happy living in this village. But today she wants to share with us a sad news, and then she suggests that rather than telling it, it's better to watch it on the stage, and invites the audience to watch it on the stage. Action is performed before the curtain. Remember that also. Then we can see 2 characters, Mr. Narayan and Mr. Sagar. Mr. Narayan is the grandson of the grandmother and also the school headmaster, and Sagar is a building contractor. And Narayan greets Sagar and they introduce themselves to each other. Narayan introduced himself as the headmaster of the school, and Sagar introduces himself as a building contractor coming from Bangalore. And Mr. Narayan invites Sagar for a cup of tea from Ramana's tea shop. This is the first scene. That's all for today. I'll see you in the next class. And before that, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, Daily English Classroom, so that you will get more classes daily. Thanks for watching. Have a nice time.